souls, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be February's reflections and favorites and all of that. I have a huge pile of stuff in front of me right now, so sit back, grab a snack, get cuddly in bed, take a bath, something like that, because we're going to be here for a while. So we're going to go over my depthier stuff, like where I'm at with that. But first I want to talk about my cards that I pulled for February and how they related to my month, and then we're going to talk about what I pulled for March and like my predictions. So the tarot card that I had pulled for myself at the beginning of the year for February was the Ace of Pentacles, and I definitely feel like this was valid for February. I financially felt a lot more at ease. I think me moving into our home and like just the way that our dynamic is now created a new financial opportunity in the way that it's just less stressful financially for us and things like that. I also felt like I could purchase what I wanted, feeling like I was spending too much or anything like that. So I think the Ace of Pentacles was really beautiful for that. And then my oracle card that I had for February out of the Earth Wisdom Oracle was Divine Love. And I mean, you can't get more perfect for February. February was huge for me for self-love, self-care. I really embodied that all of February. And yeah, so I think this was perfect. It was also my husband and I's 2-year wedding anniversary, so that also tied in with that. So yeah, I just felt all the love February, so beautiful. Okay, so for March, the card I have is the Two of Cups. So this is exciting. I love to see this card. It could be the soulmate card possibly. But I like to see this card maybe as like a new emotional connection. I do have family visiting later this month, so maybe something to do with that. But yeah, really beautiful. And then the oracle card I pulled from March is Practical Intuition. And I want to read the guidebook on this because I just love it. And I think it incorporates into my practice just beautifully. So you get a herb and you get a crystal each month to go along with this card. So I have Vinca, I think, is the herb, grows close to the ground, a humble and grounded plant. It promotes the practical use of spiritual abilities and helps open the third eye. And then we have Lapis Lazuli, supports intuition and spiritual sight. I actually have some lapis back here. So I'm going to be holding on to this all month. So it says, developing spiritual abilities is not the end of the journey. Just as the spring equinox heralds new life and new beginnings, knowledge is the start of a deeper path. Through application of spiritual skills to create blessings in the world, we connect more deeply with spirit and gain wisdom. And then it has a little affirmation and it says, I use my knowledge and understanding to solve practical problems. Through my wisdom, I help increase beauty in the world and help support the beneficial flow of energy. Yes. I think that is beautiful, you know. I love like using practical intuition. At work, I have people asking me about their dreams and, you know, what it means and things like that. And I love to be able to help people with my own spiritual abilities, you know what I mean? In a practical way. Things that they can really take away from what I said and use it in their life. So yes, I love that one for March. So this is going to stay up on my desk all month long. The artwork is gorgeous. It's very glossy, but it's very Celtic and beautiful. This deck was the perfect deck, I think, to pull for my year ahead spread. So yeah, that is my little tarot reading for myself update. All right, so now I guess we should go into like my depthier stuff, things that I wanted to do last month and what I did do, all of that, as far as my depthier plans go. So I said that I wanted to take a palmistry class, and I did find a palmistry class that I want to take, but I just wasn't feeling drawn to learning palmistry this month. or this past month. So I didn't force myself. Again, I feel like I hold information a lot better when I'm like really interested and really driven to learn something. So I didn't do that. So do rituals every new and full moon. I definitely have been incorporating that into my life. I did a really beautiful full moon burning bowl ritual, and I think, let's see if I have. Yeah, so I wrote like things that I really wanted to let go of during the full moon, and the new moon is actually today. So I'm going to be doing something for that as well. And the journaling has really come a long way. I've been putting like my pictures in here for everything. So journaling has been good with that, the full and new moon rituals. All right, so let's talk about this for a moment. I can only buy one deck a month, and I feel like that was a pretty strict rule for me. I wasn't quite ready to be only buying one deck a month. I think maybe next year I could do it, because last year I bought over 100 decks, okay? But it's because I just got into the spiritual realm of tarot and oracle, and I was like, give me all of it, right? But I've been a lot more mindful about what I'm bringing into my collection, and I'm making sure that it's something I would use or something that I know I would like. So while I have broken my one deck a month rule, I haven't broken it that bad. So I think I got like 3 decks in February, around that. So not too bad. And yeah, I don't have like a bunch of decks on my list that I need to get right now. There's a few that I'm looking at for March. I have one coming in the mail today for March, which I've been waiting for months and months. It's the Celtic Spirit Oracle. And so that is one that I really want to focus on in March. And there's one other deck I can think of that I really want to bring into my collection soon. So yeah, it's not as frenzied. It's not like I need all the decks now, you know what I mean? So I'm very happy with myself with that. You know, I'm only bringing in decks that I know I'm going to use. So yeah, I feel like everything else on here I am doing, and we can do a big update on this at the end of the year of what I did in my depth year and what I didn't do, you know, things like that. So those are the main points I wanted to talk about for my depth year plans. Now let's talk about decks that I wanted to work with last month that I talked about in my last favorites video. So one of them was the Revival Art tarot cards, and this was not a favorite last month, we'll say. This deck is gorgeous. It's like curated art, right? It's beautiful. And when I did a interview spread with this deck, it was beautiful, and I feel like it reads very well for me. But when I try to read for others with it, it's like not working out. So I don't know where the disconnect is, but I put this in timeout for now. Maybe, upside down. Maybe we can reconnect later on. But yeah, this needs to go in timeout on my shelf because we haven't been seeing eye to eye on stuff, and that's fine. It's a gorgeous deck. But now it's just not the right time for me to be working with it. So this is going on my shelf. Another one I really wanted to work with is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. And I have the book up on my desk, and I've been studying it, but it's going to be a long road, you know. It's not going to be something I learn overnight. Excuse my nails, by the way. I've been painting my bathroom, and my nail polish is disgusting. Yeah, so this is a gorgeous deck. I've been using it in readings still, but it's something that I'm going to have to deep dive into a lot more, you know. The book is very in-depth, and I have been reading it, but yeah, so this is just going to be an ongoing thing that I work with when I'm drawn to work with astrology, but this deck is gorgeous, and I definitely did work with it last month. The next one is the Liminal Spirits Oracle. Again, the guidebook is up on my desk because I've been reading it. This is a gorgeous deck. again, I wanted to use it. If you saw my video from last month, I wanted to use it because of the feeling of this liminal space that I feel in my new forest home. And I'm actually going to be using this in an upcoming video about the ghosts in my house. So, gorgeous. Again, something that is going to be a continual kind of study thing that I work on. So, yeah, beautiful, gorgeous deck. Sacred Self-Care, like I said, the amount, I don't know what it was. It's kind of quieted down since March started, but in February I had this overwhelming feeling of needing to work with self-care, and this deck is beautiful for that. I used it in client readings, I used it in personal readings, I used it on Instagram stories, like, I'm sorry, this deck. I don't know why I have reversals in here, but it's stunning. The artwork is beautiful, and it has really interesting self-care things to do that are kind of out of the box. Connect with your womb, right? Pleasure. I feel like you don't see this in a lot of like self-care decks. Connect with your ancestors. It's very spiritual. So yeah, this is a favorite, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle by Jill Pyle, and illustrations by Tatiana Vedenkina. So this is a favorite. I'm going to be incorporating this into my practice even more because it is stunning, beautiful. So yes, love that. So my main deck for February was the Usi Pagan Otherworlds, and this deck is just beautiful. It reads beautifully. It's stunning. The aesthetics are there, you know what I mean? It's pippish, but I don't know, there's something, I didn't really understand why people liked pip decks till I got this one. It's very like expansive. You can just really go with your intuition, and it just allows you to really expand on the meaning, you know what I mean? It's not so boxed in, I guess. So I really love this. It's going to be a favorite forever, I'm sure. When I'm feeling drawn to this sort of aesthetic, this deck is stunning. The cardstock is beautiful. It's high quality, so definitely a favorite. Okay, last one I'm going to talk about that I wanted to work with in February was the Romance Angels. This one, so I wanted to incorporate it into my readings in February because I was like, it's cheesy, but it's cute for Valentine's Day. But this deck is very scarily accurate, which I didn't even realize. But it has things like worth waiting for, romantic feelings, pay attention to the red flags. And when I used this in love readings, it was spot on, and I used it in personal readings as well. So I think this is something I'm going to incorporate into my love readings from now on. It's kind of a staple because it is scarily accurate. It goes with the reading. It kind of backs up my tarot reading, if you know what I mean, or like affirms it, reaffirms it, you know what I mean. So yeah, I actually was very surprised by this one, and will be incorporating into my practice more in the future. All right, so that was the decks that I wanted to work with in February and that I did or didn't, depending. And then I'm going to talk about like miscellaneous favorites, and then we're going to talk more about decks, like favorites, things I really used last month, and then things I want to work with in March. So miscellaneous. So let's see. Salt lamps, you guys. This one back here is stunning. It's this globe one. If you heard in my last favorites video, salt lamps are like an obsession. I can't stop. I have 5 in my bedroom now, I think. I'll insert pictures, but I have like the little plug-in ones that are like night lights. I have one on my nightstand. I ordered a Selenite lamp. It's actually coming today, which I'll insert a picture of. I want that one to be on my table over there. So yeah, salt lamps are just like, I don't know, just the ambiance. like the atmosphere they give. It's just something I want in my home, and I'm definitely going to be getting more, especially with the little nightlight ones, because you can just stick it in an outlet and it just, beautiful. Yes, crystals, again, have been my obsession. I haven't really brought anything new into my collection as far as crystals go, but we'll talk about the crystal thing more in a little bit because I have some other stuff pertaining to that. But yeah, crystals have been a favorite. This is a tarot case that my husband got me for our anniversary, and it's from Earthbound. It is stunning. This is a favorite. I have my main Rider-Waite deck in here, my Smith-Waite Borderless edition, and I think this is just so classy to bring your deck around in. It's leather. It has a pentacle on it. It has all of the elements. It has all of the suits of the tarot. So it is just, I don't know, there's something about this that's just like so classy. I don't know, like I like a good tarot bag. I like a good tarot box, but I didn't like this in the, which I do love tuck boxes more than I feel like the big bulky boxes because they're easier to store. And I don't know, I love a good tuck box, but mine was already falling apart because I was using this so much. So I think this is a beautiful alternative to that. It's just so classy. You can throw it in your purse and it'll be safe. It just, I don't know, it's really cool. So that's a favorite. I was talking about self-care and things like that, and the past 2 years or so, I've really slacked on self-care, self-love on a deep level, but also on like a superficial level, like feel-good stuff. So I went a little crazy at Bath & Body Works, which I didn't have any body sprays, perfumes, I was out of lotions, I didn't have anything, and I didn't care. When you're depressed, you don't care about that kind of stuff, and I'm so happy to be out of that dark place and to be having fun again with things like this. So these are two, I bought a bunch, but these are two of my favorites right now. This is Fiji Sunshine Guava Teeny. It has sun-kissed guava, fresh orange, and seaside jasmine. Oh my God. This is just bringing me into like spring and summer, and oh my gosh, I love it. And then the other favorite of mine is Confetti Dreams, which is fresh raspberry, sparkling pear, and blue iris. I don't know, it's just so fun to have like things to pick from for stuff like this, and it's just a little thing that makes you feel good. So yeah, I don't know, go get yourself some self-care stuff like this because it's just, it's so fun. All right, do we want to talk books now? I want to talk books. So yeah, if you just want to get to the end where I talk more about tarot and oracle, okay. But I'm gonna gush for a minute because books, okay. So let's talk. So part of my depth year plan is to read 15 books in 2022, and I set the bar low because I didn't want to feel pressured, you know what I mean, because I've had issues with reading in the past. So let's talk about it. When I was in elementary school, I was a bookworm, the definition. We used to have these things called AR points, and basically you would read a book and then you would take a test and you would get points. And when I was in elementary school, I had the most points out of anybody in the school, and there was like 300 of us, I think. And so I loved books so much. Libraries were my happy place. Libraries felt like this magic portal that could just open me up to new worlds, and I just loved reading. Middle school, I loved reading as well. That's when like Twilight series came out, you know what I mean, and I was obsessed. And I also wrote a lot in middle school. I think that's when I wrote the most. High school, I read here and there, you know, we had to read a lot of books for classes and things like that. But once I graduated high school, life kind of took over, and I had to work, I had to go to school, beauty school, mind you, so I didn't get to really read for that, besides textbooks. So reading felt like a luxury that I just didn't have, you know? It makes me sad that I missed out on reading for so many years of my life, you know, because life takes over. I was exhausted, I was sick a lot. I was working really hard to try to pay my bills. I barely had enough money to do anything. And so I am so grateful that I've rediscovered books and I have the luxury to read them now. I have the time, and I'm just so happy. I could literally cry right now. So yeah, this was really good. This is the Caraval series. I did finish this in February. This is the 3rd book. So there's Caraval, Legendary, and Finale. This is really fun. If you like circus vibes, romance, enemies to lovers, this is really good, and magical and fantasy. This is by Stephanie Garber. So I really suggest this. This is really fun. But I feel like I found a series that it's like opening up my world again. And I know I'm really, really late to the bandwagon on this, but A Court of Thorns and Roses. Oh my gosh. Ugh. This is so good. I'm almost done with it. I'll probably finish it today. But I only got this last week and I'm almost done with it. And you know, I do work and things like that still, so I don't have time to read all the time. But I do read on like my lunch breaks, and when I can. And I just recently bought this little reading light. And this is another favorite because now I can read at night when my husband's asleep and I don't have to wake him up. So I'll be able to read a lot more because I feel like that's when I have probably the most downtime is at night because he goes to bed pretty early. So now I can read at night and get a lot more reading done. But yeah, I was kind of weary on this because I saw some bad reviews, but this has opened up my love for books again, and I am just obsessed. I ordered this one. It came in the mail yesterday, so I can move directly to the second one, and I'll probably be ordering the third one pretty soon as well. But yes, I am obsessed with these. Okay, another little book favorite is this little, I actually made this. And I found it in one of my books that I wasn't reading, so I'm going to use this now. It's so cute. It says magic. And yeah, I just made this cute little bookmark, and I think it's perfect to portray my feelings about books lately. I also started Narnia, the Narnia books, in February. This is a huge book that has all of the stories in it. So I just kind of started this because I got A Court of Thorns and Roses right after, and I just kind of dove into that. So this one, it's kind of on the back burner right now, but I am really excited to finish this one day, hopefully soon. But this is really good as well. Okay, I bought this on my anniversary because we went shopping, and holy crap, this is beautiful. This is the Library of Esoterica tarot book. They have tarot, astrology, and witchcraft, so I'm gonna get all three. But this is a big, heavy-duty, beautiful book that just goes into tarot. I don't know. But I think this was a beautiful book to add to my like witchy book collection because I have a whole shelf of just like this kind of thing. And yeah, it's just beautiful. It's like a coffee table book, display book. It's just, look at that. I'm obsessed. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs walking around. But yeah, this is a favorite for sure. Okay, last little favorite I have is this is a sticker book actually. It's called Apothecary Sticker Studio, a sticker gallery for modern mystics. And I've found this to be really beautiful for journaling. I use it, you know, on Etsy orders and things like that, on my packaging. This sticker book is just so cute and witchy and beautiful, and it has crystals, and it has plants, and it has like tarot cards, and it has moths and bugs and botanicals, and I don't even know. It's just runes and candles and animals. It's just so witchy and beautiful. So I got this on Amazon, and I think it was like $16, but you get 600 stickers. So this is gonna last me a while. But yeah, I found that it really, it makes journaling more fun. So yeah. All right, we are going to get into my like favorites of February and what I want to use in March for decks. So let's talk about this one because I think this was the most used in February. I've had this deck a while. It's the Daily Crystal Inspiration, a 52 card oracle deck for finding health, wealth, and balance. So like I said last month, I've been obsessed with crystals. It's funny that this one comes out. This is Labradorite, and it kept popping out for me. But what I was doing with this deck is I was pulling a card every day. Anyways, I was pulling a card every day, reading the message in the guidebook, which the guidebook on this is really good to help learn crystals in a very simplified manner, I would say. Like fluorite, find peace within. So you can get a gist of what fluorite is about with the message. And I was just reading the message in the guidebook and trying to embody that message for the day, right? Remember your worth. Set strong boundaries. Whatever it was that I pulled. But then on top of that, so I would sit that down on my desk, and then I was using the Crystals for Beginners book, and I would flip to the page that the crystal is in, and I'd research it. So I was using this to research the crystal that I pulled here, and it was just a really beautiful way to learn more about crystals and learn different crystals. And I did find there was like 1 or 2 crystals that were in this deck that weren't in the book, so I just Googled it, but I find that it's more resourceful. I don't know, it feels more old school to just look it up in a book, you know what I mean? So that, I was really enjoying doing that, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I did use this in a reading recently, and it reads very well for tarot readings as well, but I find that it's just really beautiful to help me learn crystals, so I've been really loving this deck. Okay, next up, a little bit of a surprise is the Ethereal Visions. I've always thought this deck was beautiful, but I read with it quite a bit in February, and it read beautifully for me. Yeah, so this is definitely a favorite. It's very shiny and gold and beautiful. I've been feeling the gold decks lately, you'll see. But yeah, this deck is stunning, and it was reading very well for me in February. So yeah, I think this deck is very aesthetically pleasing, and it can definitely appeal to a lot of different kinds of people. So yeah, I'm really glad that this deck and I are getting along. So that's a favorite. Okay, next up we have Gold Foil Tarot. So I bought this off of Amazon last month. Yeah, and there's another version of this going around that has like black backs. You guys will probably know, it's been floating around tarot too, but it has the same box as this where it says Gold Foil Tarot, and on the inside it has a little message from Ivy Fang, who makes the, gosh, I always forget, it's a really fancy Rider-Waite decks. And so there was worry that there was like copyright infringement and things like that, but I don't have any inscription on the inside of my box. So yeah, but this deck, holy crap, you guys, it's plastic. It's the only plastic deck I have. So those are the backs. That's what drew me in. And this thing shuffles like a dream. Like, oh my gosh, because it's super bendy, if you can see that. But it pops right back into place. So yes, but holy crap, you guys, it's just a Rider-Waite deck that is shiny and beautiful and gold and like luxurious. This is stunning. I actually like the tactical feel of the plastic. It feels very sturdy, like it's not going to just like break on me, you know what I mean? They're waterproof. So these are really beautiful if you want like a very high-end, luxurious feeling. So this has absolutely been a favorite. Obviously, this is like my all-time Rider-Waite favorite. It just feels more mystical because it's like old school, I guess. But this, if you want like a very extra flair to your reading, this is beautiful. And it reads very well. I mean, it reads like Rider-Waite. It is kind of slippery when you try to shuffle it like this. That popped out. Who needs to hear about the 4 pence? But yeah, I find that I can handle it pretty well without them sliding all over the place. So beautiful. All right, we're getting there, guys. So next favorite, Golden Art Nouveau. This has been a favorite last month, this month, forever and ever. Yeah, this just it's so reliable. It reads so well. It's golden and beautiful again. There's something very pleasing about the way this deck feels in the hand because it's smaller than a normal deck, like thinner, and it shuffles beautifully, and the cards just feel really good. I don't know, but this deck reads like a dream. So yeah, I've already talked about it, so I don't want to ramble on much longer about that one. Last favorite is the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards by Colette, Barron Reed. This deck, I hear nobody talk about this deck. I feel like maybe people just don't give it a chance because there are a lot of people that don't like Colette's decks, the newer ones, but this is an older one and I find it super magical. It is scarily accurate. These are the backs. My favorite back on any kind of card ever. And this deck is just so good. It has animals, it has sacred journey markers. So we have truth, birth and rebirth. And then we have the messengers of Avalon. So we have Merlin, alchemy, justice, balance. And then we have the guides of fairies. So we have the goblin, the wounded human ego. So yeah, it's just, oh my gosh. The bard. So it has that magical feeling. It has like a lot of different categories. You can get really different type cards. Here's another journey marker, trust. This, it's so well rounded. It hits the mark every time. I've never had it miss. So this is a favorite. It's one of my favorites to pull out during a reading because of how accurate it is, like for another person. So yes, beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry guys, my phone just rang, like my home phone, and like nobody has that number. We just moved here and I haven't given it out to anyone, and it rang and I picked it up and I could hear people talking, but no one was there. I'm freaked out. Okay, that was strange. They were asking for Debbie and then they just hung up. Yeah, I was looking at when this was published and it was published in 2007 for this deck. So yeah, an older one, but it's so good, you guys, like insanely good. Okay, next up we're gonna transition into like things I want to work with more in March. So a favorite pair that I found in February is the Ancestral Path Tarot and the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards. These are beautiful together, and I've been putting together a ancestor reading on my Etsy shop that will go up pretty soon, and I want to use these cards because they go so well together. So the Ancestral Path Tarot, I feel like, again, this is really underrated, but I kind of get why a lot of people might not like this deck. These cards are huge, okay? I don't know if, like, huge, okay? But they are stunning. These are the backs. They have, like, a moon or a pearl. I'm not quite sure what that is. But for all the suits, you have, like, a different group of people. So that's a strength card. So for the Pentacles, we have the Sacred Circles, and you have kind of like Native American people. For the Wands, you have, it kind of looks like African or Egyptian type people. For the Swords, we have Asian people. And for the Cups, you get kind of like a Arthurian Camelot type feel. So it's beautiful, okay? This reads really well. It's just really hard to get like a really big reading with this deck because of how huge it is. If they came out with a normal size of this, I'd be carrying it with me everywhere. It's just a little impractical to pull out and read with sometimes, but it's stunning. And I think for something like an ancestor reading, it's perfect because you don't need that many cards to get like a really poignant message. And paired with the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards, it's just stunning. So this is an Oracle deck. These are the backs. And it has things like be thankful, and it has keywords. Clear your mind, be present, focus, and embrace. So you can really use this as a message from your ancestors. Begin writing now, create, express, inspire. Back to basics, simplify, reduce, and center. Re-energize your life. So I guess ancestor work hasn't been something that I've delved deeply into, but it's something that I really want to. And this deck, I was drawn to it. I didn't really know why. I haven't really picked it up since I bought it, but now I know why. It's in my collection. It's beautiful, and paired with the Ancestral Path Tarot. Beautiful, beautiful pair. I feel like the artwork is very similar and it just works beautifully together. All right. I had a pile of decks sitting on my shelf that I was going to make a video to. I'm sorry if you see hairs floating around. My dogs, I have a husky. Anyway, I had a pile of decks sitting on a shelf waiting to be given away or sold. Because I was going to make a video of decks I'm getting rid of and why. And this deck was sitting on there, and it was one of the ones that I was like, I absolutely do not want to keep that deck. And then the other day I was really called to it. And so we're not giving it away just yet. This is the Keepers of the Light. I have not used this once since I got it. There are some cards in here that kind of throw me off. This is a beautiful card. Beautiful, beautiful. But then there's cards like the Archangel cards, just like, no. So I think I might take some of the cards out and work with it that way. No. It's like, I like the message, but I just, no. That's what kind of turns me off. But I've been drawn to the energy of this deck, and so I've been using it to pull and learn about these ascended masters, you know, these Keepers of the Light. So yeah, really beautiful. The deck I wanted to pick up in March, I thought was going to kind of replace this one, as far as like, I'm getting rid of this, but I have this. But now I'm being drawn to this one, so I don't know. But I still want to pick up, it's called, I think it's Gods, Goddesses, and Guardians or something like that. It's a Hay House deck. And it has matte cardstock, and the artwork is more appealing to me. I'm gonna pick that one up pretty soon, I think, because I'm super drawn to it, and I think it's like 12 bucks on Hay House right now. But I'm gonna be working with this more in March to determine if it's something that I want to keep or not. Okay, I saved best for last. I picked this up in February. The Morgan Grier Tarot. I don't know why I waited so long to get this, but this deck is like perfection to me. It is a Rider-Waite type deck. These are the backs. Stunning. I love celestial things. And these are the cards. There's my Queen of Pence. That's me. Very Rider-Waite, but this is from like the 70s, I think. And so you get that vibe a little bit with the like attire. I just love that it's borderless, but it has that old school feel. The artwork is beautiful. This cardstock, goodness. I don't have any other cards with this cardstock. It's like smooth and like buttery feeling. And it's like semi-gloss, I guess I would say. I don't know, like a satin finish. It shuffles beautifully. I haven't used it yet. I've just been like connecting with it. I sleep with it next to my bedside to try to really like infuse my energy into it, I guess. But I can just tell that this relationship is going to be beautiful. So I'll update you guys on how that goes, but this is a stunning deck. I can see it making it into my all-time favorites. So yeah, everyone, that was my reflections, updates, favorites for February. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your favorites were in February, what really made your soul soar this month. So yes, if you would like a personal reading from me, I do offer them down in the description box in my Etsy shop. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a magical month of March and a magical week. And I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.